souls, or rather, the souls of the people they once were, had awakened. Not yet fully conscious of their past and present, these half-machines could nonetheless feel primitive emotions and sensations, such as fear and pain. This undesirable consequence of shoddily performed lobotomy is most rarely observed, and yet for some reason it had occurred in every single one of these servitors gathered in the bay. All present held their breath, disturbed by this sight. We waited for the Lord Captain to speak. Demanded a report on the defective unit's status from the Technomats. The Technomats' long-winded and detailed report could have been summarized in a single key point. Despite the servitors' abnormal behavior, they were still quite capable of carrying out tasks, and therefore the circumstances did not call for termination. Take a step toward them. Immediately, the servitors, each and every one of them, stepped toward the Lord Captain in perfect unison. They mimicked his movements with frightening precision. The rogue trader halted in place, and after a moment's thought, waved his hand. And the servitors, just as synchronously, repeated that gesture as well. When the Lord Captain turned inquisitively to the Technomats, so did the servitors, as if mocking him. Whatever the Lord Captain did, be it an incline of his head, a wave of his hand, or a step to the side, the defective units repeated it without a moment's delay or hesitation, like grotesque marionettes controlled by an unseen puppeteer. We observed this mime unfold in distressed bafflement for nearly a minute until the servitors finally came to a stop. Not sensing any threat from them, the rogue trader approached with confidence. The Lord Captain examined them. As High Factotum, it was I who had prompted the entire inspection, and thus it was my duty to follow the Lord Captain. As we stepped closer, we noticed a fascinating irregularity. The servitors' pupils, normally still, were shaking wildly. Their bulging veins were pulsating under their copper collars inscribed with their past offenses. It was as if those mindless half-machines were locked in a perpetual state of extreme tension. A visibly shaken Technomat behind us proposed that the human souls had awakened within the servitors' bodies after a long slumber deep within their lobotomized brains. Formerly bereft of intelligence, they had attained awareness, feeling, and understanding. After a pause, the Technomat added that the servitors used to function properly and that no one had been able to explain the change in behavior. His gaze still trained on the motionless but animate half-machines and half-people. The Lord Captain stepped away. All present held their breath, disturbed by this sight. So I could disassemble one of them and try to figure out what's going on more, but I fear that that's going to make all of the others attack. At the same time, these things are an unknown element, and we probably don't want these things going around our ship just without knowing more. Order that one of the servitors be disassembled and its components investigated. A group of Technomats hurried to act upon the Lord Captain's command. The servitor's mechanical parts separated with clicks, snaps, and hisses. The sutures between its wrinkled pale flesh and its augments were laid disgustingly bare. We watched the Technomats do their work and could see every centimeter of the servitor's stiff muscles abounding with valves and cavities pierced by countless cords and tubes. The disassembly and analysis complete, the Technomats concurred the unit was in working order. Nothing in the dissected body that lay before us could provide any insight into the reason behind the defects. I should make note of one more thing. At that moment, all of us present discovered that not just the eyes, but the hands and heads of some of the servitors were now shaking too. It was as if the mechanized servants were overcome with some primordial terror. Turned to me to announce his decision. We're out of other options. His lordship looked at me with unwavering resolve, and it was that confidence that wrenched me out of my nightmare stupor that had been intensely observing the scene before me. The Lord Captain gave the order. Okay, hold on, I'm reading my options here. I like the idea of Iconoclast, but Dogmatic just seems so practical right now. Like, supposedly all these people were hardened criminals, and this was supposed to be them paying their dues. And they haven't done that yet? But I think I'm gonna do this, because it's almost the same option. But, you can't have dog, you have chip. Yeah, oh, I just realized chip's not on his bed. I can turn that camera off. Alright. Dispose of the servitors so that their human souls may be released from torment. The Lord Captain's command was executed post-haste. All the defective units were incinerated in furnaces and their remains were expelled into the void. The crew was provided with replacement servitors and soon forgot all about the destroyed unit's peculiarities, yet this incident haunts my memories to this day. With the fate of the defective servitors decided, nothing could now distract the Lord Captain from his mission. Alright. So Pascal is on the bridge now.
The Messiah knows all, comprehends all.
The mechadendrites growing out of the tech priest's back swivel in your direction, as if examining you with curiosity. I want to know more about your past. Oh, I want to know more about your past. It sounds so, like, abrasive in that voice.
The request is approved. I have no outright restrictions on disclosing this information.
Isn't the chip cam a motion sensor? No, I have it on off button. Where are you from?
Information about my origins is worthless. I belong to the priesthood of explorators and came to the Coronis Expanse over 200 years ago. Any events preceding that moment are insignificant.
How did you come to the Coronis Expanse?
I was honored to become a member of the Explorator Cognizance Fleet. When the Adeptus Mechanicus summoned the faithful for an exploratory venture into the depths of the Coronis Expanse, I joined the fleet in fulfillment of my sacred vows of comprehension.
Why are you not with the fleet now?
Archmagus Amanat, my blessed mentor, commanded me to crew the orbital station Alter Templum Calixis EXT-17. This venerable temple station was founded in the early years of our expansion into the Coronis Expanse. It is currently a rear observation post of the Cognizance Fleet in orbit around the star Furibundus.
Who are the explorators?
The sacred fraternity of explorers. The cult Mechanica sends us out to the frontiers of the known sectors as researchers and conquerors. We are the warriors of the code, who return to the lost worlds and devote themselves to recovering the lost ancient knowledge. Explorators are granted the privilege of being more independent than many of our tech comrades. However, it has earned us a reputation as unstable and poorly controlled troublemakers whose unorthodox views are dangerously close to apostasy.
Tell me about your mechadendrites.
They are my younger brothers and guides on the way to the Omnissiah. Their machine spirits are directly bound to my neocortex and pick up impulses from my subconscious. Sometimes they act ahead of my thoughts. This is how the Omnissiah leads me to comprehension.
So they're faster than Doc Ock's tentacles. We can stop there.
Acknowledged.
I'll take my leave.
May your labors be effective.
I don't think I've talked to Cassia since she joined the crew. Where is she? There she is. Oh, Uwe's here. What's up, Uwe? The valet flinches at your approach. A silent greeting escapes his lips.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
Tell me about yourself.
I am a part of House Orselio, an ancient dynasty of the Navis nobility. Since time immemorial, our family has served to advance knowledge, pushing at the boundaries of the dark unknown. The Starway Atlas contains 2,843 routes that chart the sectors of the Segmentum Obscurus and reach all the way from the Coronis Expanse to Holy Terra.
Listen in silence.
And uniting the Imperium's thousands of worlds. House Orselio is bound by commercial pacts to houses Galeatis, Ortina, Drotus, and... There is a dark blue knot tightening on your neck, Lord Captain. I can see my reply is not satisfying your thirst for knowledge. What is it you desire to hear exactly?
Sorry, Cassia. I would like to know more about you personally, not your family.
You wish to know about me? I suppose I can help you with that. What would you like to know?
So you've never lived anywhere other than Urak 5?
Hardly. According to the chronicles of the house, I was born on one of the Orselio worlds. Oh, what was it? Please forgive me, Lord Captain. My childhood memories are too vague.
What, you don't remember the day you were born?
Sometimes I dream about the colorful birds that built their nests in the garden, or the servants dressed in purple livery, or the blue fog that rolled over the lowlands behind the palace. But everything is covered in a rosy haze. Perhaps it is my imagination, not my memory, that is painting these pictures.
Tell me about your life on the station.
My stay on the station was wholly dedicated to preparing me for my future duty. Astromancy, astrography, numerology, the histories of my house and the Imperium, as well as other disciplines. For many years, dozens of instructors tirelessly prepared me for my destiny. And once a year, Great Regent Alronto would come to the station. He would entrust his beautiful vessel to my command, so that I could master the practical aspects of our art as well.
Did you have friends, someone you could turn to for simple conversation, and not a discussion of yet another lecture?
The Regent gave me a bird from a sunlit planet once. I tried to befriend it and make it sing, but for some reason, it refused, and died soon after.
This is the beginning of a romance?
The instructors were too respectful of my duty to my house to waste precious time on idle chatter. Aside from them, there were only servants on the station. And you know they have their vocal cords removed, so they cannot break their vow of silence.
Does Uwe have no vocal cords?
And since the subject has been breached, Lord Captain, why do you not follow this honored tradition? Your decks are so garish. Apologies. I meant noisy. The rabble don't just chatter. Sometimes they shout and even sing. Why do you allow such a lack of restraint? Rogue traders are highborn, are they not?
Yo, this option. You have a point. I will have the lower ranks stripped of their vocal cords. What? A ruler cannot maim people just because it is in his power to do so. On the contrary, it is the duty of every ruler to look after his subjects.
Your words sound amazingly blasphemous. If a ruler's duty dictates the need for violence, would dispensing it not be their responsibility? I will contemplate your answer in solitude.
Yeah, but just people singing doesn't mean rip their vocal cords out. Your third eye, do you always conceal it?
The Navigator's open eye is baneful to whoever the warp's ruinous shine falls upon, and therefore it is the symbol of our power. We are the guiding stars of humanity, found worthy of an uncommon gift, and one of the duties that we bear is to guard our eye, even from wayward glances that may bear evil. Besides, I am aware that lesser servants of the Imperium may find our appearance repulsive. The Navigator gene twists the features the rabble are used to seeing, and the magnificence of our role cannot be grasped by their feeble minds.
You are beautiful, Cassia. Do not let anyone or anything convince you otherwise.
Lord Captain, you are overstepping the bounds of propriety.
Oh, I leap past the bounds of propriety. What does it feel like guiding a vessel through the warp?
It may be difficult to describe. You see, every navigator perceives the warp differently. My mentor, Great Regent Elronto, always described his travels through the Immaterium as a journey through a vast wood with countless paths. And I, assisting him in the first voyages, futilely tried to follow his example. But the wood would not reveal itself to me.
A muckmans.
But everything changed
when the
I
Fire
found
Nation
my
attacked.
own key to this mystery. You see, I've always brightened up my rare moments of leisure time by painting. You may recall there was a workshop in my chambers. As soon as I imagined the warp as a blank canvas, an indescribable feeling came over me. I moved the brush, going deeper and deeper into my own painting. Visions were hidden within the vibrant colors of my palette, and something inside me knew which should be brought out and which should be left behind. I woke up several days later, after the voyage was safely complete.
I notice your love of painting is reflected in your speech as well. You associate so many images with hues and colors.
The Emperor graced me with a gift. I can see inner life in addition to the mundane. You cannot know that a fruit has rotten from the inside until a blade slices it in two. I can see the rot from far away. It roils like swamp mud, oozing through the bright peel. Anger and boredom, sadness and joy. Everything that people shut away inside themselves is revealed to me like colors on the canvas of my world.
Let's talk about something else.
You will hear no objection from me, Lord Captain.
What does your special sight reveal?
Sister Argenta shines like a guiding star, inspiring resolve in those around her, seemingly inexplicably. However, I see a dark and ugly fog billow behind her, contrasting sharply with her shining light. It burdens the Sister of Battle. It drags her down. Yet Argenta herself is hardly aware of it.
Side quest.
Seneschal Viserion is among the few whose colors are a pleasure to look at. Whenever the Seneschal speaks, heavenly crystal clarity spreads around him. And whenever he is angered, dark blue clouds condense over him. And in his rare moments of joy, a pure gleam of sunset pink caresses the souls of those near him. Out of your entire retinue, Lord Captain, he is the only one I would trust with my life.
Dang.
The esteemed Magus Hanuman is shattered like a beautiful stained glass window into a mosaic of colors. His bright, beckoning hues are mixed together in complete disarray. I must confess, it perplexes me. Normally, scarlet and steel are all that fills the heart of a servant of the Omnissiah. Idira's emotions are like a maelstrom, bright, unbridled, enveloping her form like a wondrous kaleidoscope of colors. And as dangerous as a twisting warp storm. The riot of colors hides the truth from my eyes. What exactly is driving this woman? Is it her own will, or is it the Immaterium, Lord Captain?
I will take my leave.
I have enjoyed your company. Thank you for the conversation.
Alright, that was a lot of talking. Let's see what the next thingamabob is. Alright, so we've got a planet, and... Oh, we got another stop that's on this same planet, I think? Starport... Oh, this is a new stop, I think. Because I went from there to there, and then now this is here. Have to take Pascal. That's fine. What's the origin of the name Mukluk? I actually have a video on that. That's it right there if you're interested. It's a funny story, but one that takes a few minutes to tell. So I got it recorded. We'll cover the landing area, your lordship. Glory to the Von Valancius dynasty. Yes, glory to me. Wait, looks like there's a loot
They
box
will
here.
see. Oh yes, they all will see.
Oh, yes.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Curiosity sings in my veins.
What?
Look no further.
Why does he have 2 stacks of fatigued? We were just on the void ship. It says visit the void ship to remove. I'm confused. The people that were injured are no longer injured, but he's got this.
Failure
The sacred
is a
statue has been
bitter
shattered into
taste.
pieces of the hands of the blasphemous heretics. Hi, Rebel. Can you link that over here as well? Oh, yeah. Exclamation, my name.
I did it?
Judging by the dead people's equipment, they were the same guards that Governor sent to the monastery's aid.
One step at a time,
Hi.
amidst
Thank
the madness.
Open the gate. The binary chem awakens the gate's latching mechanism. Okay, so now we can go in.
What lies beyond?
Actually didn't know that loading screen tip. Thanks. Maximum hit chance is 95%. All hit chance above that is converted to critical hit chance. The heretics were killed swiftly and ruthlessly. They never had time to reach for their weapons. A mercifully quick electric shock was not what killed this cultist. His face is contorted in pain as if tortured.
There will be no peace in my wake.
You note that wire junctions are often marked with the symbol of a key that appears to connect the 2 lines. There are no wounds on the heretic's body. Face is contorted as terror as his eyes are bloodshot from ruptured vessels. Sent to cargo?
I'm not satisfied with that answer. I will repeat my question again.
New party member?
The last electro priest you killed, where did you find? Burn in the fire of dawn, servant of the cook. And another one meets the limit of his utility. The last of them.
The tall, dark-haired man sizes you up with a quick glance. A supernatural chill is making the air around him crackle softly. The expensive fabric of his jacket is stitched with gold thread and marked by several reddish-brown stains. A forced sword and a vox hang from his belt, and the emblem of the Holy Inquisition glitters on his chest. Interrogator Van Kalox, I presume?
Yes. Since you know who I am, and are in no hurry to kill me, I infer that you serve the Emperor, not his enemies. Allow me to introduce myself. Interrogator Heinrichs van Kalox of the Imperial Inquisition's esteemed Ordo Xenos. With whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Shadow. A great big sun-eclipsing, chain-weaving shadow. I can see the threads, myriads of them extending toward us all, and all of them creeping off toward him like snakes, shrouding us in poison. My, oh my, do I sense trouble, and it's right in my throat. It itches.
A puff of black smoke comes out of the Psyker's mouth and dissipates at once.
A Psyker? Interesting. And a diviner at that. Even more interesting. Are you sanctioned?
Don't you Inquisition me! I'm under the Rogue Trader's protection.
She looks at you pleadingly. Adira is a member of my personal retinue and is under my protection.
Your retinue, you say? Then let's go back to my previous question. With whom do I have the honor of speaking?
Rogue Trader Muk van Luck van Valancius. I have more Vans than you.
Von Valancius? To the best of my knowledge, that dynasty is headed by the esteemed Theodora von Valancius. Has there been a change of circumstances?
Theodora is dead, slain in battle by enemies of humanity.
The news is lamentable. My condolences. And I presume the heir to the sacred warrant of trade and the lofty title of Rogue Trader is none other than yourself. Well then, what precisely has brought you to the sanctum of the Omnissiah?
I am here to collect you. I am under orders from the Lord Inquisitor to offer any assistance you may require, after which I am to provide you safe passage to Footfall aboard my ship.
Then the timing of our meeting is fortuitous. I am requisitioning you and your retinue for my task.
You're requisitioning me? But I'm the main character.
Requisitioning?
Right?
Young man, your choice of words is unseemly to the point of insult. You're addressing a rogue trader.
I don't imagine you'll be any happier if I say taking into inquisitorial custody.
To aid his faithful servant in the fight against corruption is the solemn duty of all whose actions affect millions of the Imperium's subjects. Let your example guide those who will carry the Emperor's light across 1,000 stars.
You are familiar with the works of Inquisitor Alistar the Redeemer. Not every acolyte can say the same, let alone people less initiated. Please forgive my lapse in manners, Lady Navigator Orselio. It is a great honor.
The Inquisition does have the authority to do a lot of things. Yeah, one of the games I've played is Inquisitor Martyr. Oh boy. For people who know even less than me, the Inquisition, if they deem a world just cannot be saved and it's useless to the Imperium, they'll issue a command called Exterminatus, which is basically they drop a bomb on the world that's like a nuke, but the nuclear explosion is so big it engulfs the entire surface of the planet. It just kills everyone.
I came to Rykad Minoris on a mission, which a rebellion prevented me from fulfilling. The governor is convinced that malcontents from among the rabble were the instigators, but I immediately suspected a more sinister presence at the root of the mutiny.
Mutiny Monday.
My visit to the monastery and a few unhurried conversations with some of the rebels confirmed my suspicions. Someone by the name of Aurora is leading the rebellion. Data indicates that the head of the cultists is here right now, in the sanctum of the ancient reactor. Given the prophecy of the final dawn, and the especial efforts made by the enemies of humanity to seize the monastery, their goal is to gain access to the holy power source's control circuit and trigger a process that, once started, cannot be stopped. In other words, to detonate the reactor, thus being themselves the cause of their much-touted final dawn.
Blasphemous insanity.
The tech priest's visor flashes and turns a bloody scarlet. A soft hum of some activating systems is heard from under his robe. As Heinrich von Kalok speaks, you suddenly notice the way he's looking at you. With his